Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into some of the darkest chapters of human history, like seriously messed up stuff. We're talking about times when science went wrong, when the lines between right and wrong got super blurry. It's the kind of stuff that keeps you up at night, you know? These are the four most terrifying and cruel experiments conducted on humans. Experiments that will make you question everything. I'm talking mad scientists, government cover-ups, and psychological torture. It's gonna get dark, but trust me, it's important to remember these stories. So grab your snacks, turn off the lights, and let's uncover the truth together. Okay guys, buckle up because this first one is heavy. We're diving into one of the darkest chapters of human history. We're going back to World War II, to a place called Unit 731. This was no ordinary military unit, it was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army. Imagine this, a top-secret Japanese facility hidden deep in Manchuria. It was a sprawling complex, shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by high walls and barbed wire. They called themselves researchers, but these guys were monsters in lab coats. Led by General Shiro Ishii, they were responsible for some of the most inhumane acts in history. They conducted horrific experiments on innocent people, mostly Chinese civilians and prisoners of war. These were not just any experiments, they were designed to push the boundaries of human suffering. We're talking men, women, even pregnant women and children. No one was safe. Entire families were torn apart and subjected to unimaginable horrors. They infected them with deadly diseases like the plague, cholera, anthrax. These diseases were deliberately spread to study their effects on the human body. They wanted to see how the diseases spread, how long it took people to die. The goal was to develop biological weapons that could be used to decimate enemy populations. They even performed vivisections, cutting people open alive without anesthesia. This was done to observe the effects of diseases on living organs. Can you even imagine the screams? The sheer terror and agony these victims must have felt is beyond comprehension. They tested biological weapons, dropping bombs filled with plague-infected fleas on villages. These attacks caused widespread death and suffering. They called their victims logs, like they weren't even human beings. This dehumanization made it easier for them to commit such atrocities. They disposed of the bodies in mass graves, trying to erase the evidence of their crimes. But the truth could not be buried forever. It's estimated that tens of thousands of people died at the hands of Unit 731. The exact number may never be known, but the scale of the suffering is undeniable. And the worst part? Many of these scientists, these monsters, they were never held accountable for their actions. After the war, some were even granted immunity in exchange for their research data, which was used by other countries for their own biological warfare programs. While some were tried and convicted, many escaped justice. The legacy of Unit 731 is a haunting reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the importance of remembering these dark chapters of history. Today there are memorials and museums dedicated to the victims of Unit 731. Survivors and their families continue to seek recognition and justice for the atrocities committed. It's crucial that we educate future generations about these events to ensure that such horrors are never repeated. The story of Unit 731 serves as a stark warning of what can happen when humanity loses its moral compass. So, as we remember the victims, let us also commit to standing against such evil in all its forms. The past cannot be changed, but we can learn from it to build a better future. This next story takes place in America, a country that prides itself on freedom and equality. A land where the ideals of liberty and justice are held in the highest regard, and where the pursuit of happiness is considered a fundamental right. Yet, beneath this veneer of noble principles, there lies a history marred by instances of profound injustice and exploitation. One such instance is the Tuskegee Syphilis Study, a shameful reminder of the dark side of American history. This study, cloaked in the guise of medical research, was a gross violation of human rights and ethical standards. For 40 years, from 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted a study on African American men in Macon County, Alabama. These men, numbering around 600, were unwitting participants in a study that would forever alter their lives and tarnish the reputation of American medical research. These men, mostly poor sharecroppers, were told they were being treated for bad blood, a catch-all term for various ailments. They trusted the doctors and nurses who promised them free medical care, not knowing that they were being deceived. But here's the thing. They weren't being treated at all. Instead, they were being used as human guinea pigs in a study designed to observe the natural progression of syphilis, a devastating sexually transmitted disease that can cause severe health problems if left untreated. The researchers wanted to study the natural progression of syphilis, a devastating sexually transmitted disease. They watched as the disease ravaged the bodies and minds of these men, all the while withholding the very treatment that could have saved them. So, they withheld treatment even when penicillin became widely available in the 1940s. Penicillin, a miracle drug that could have cured these men, was deliberately kept from them. The researchers chose to let the disease run its course, valuing their scientific data over human lives. They lied to these men, telling them they were getting free medical care. They were given false hope and empty promises, all while the disease continued to destroy their bodies from the inside out. They even prevented them from seeking treatment elsewhere. The researchers went to great lengths to ensure that these men remained in the study, even if it meant denying them the chance to seek help from other doctors or medical facilities. They gave them placebos, painful spinal taps, all in the name of science. These men endured unnecessary pain and suffering, believing that they were receiving genuine medical treatment. Can you imagine the betrayal, the fear, the sense of abandonment? These men placed their trust in the medical professionals who were supposed to help them, only to be used and discarded like mere test subjects. These men suffered, some went blind, some went insane, some died, all because of a disease they could have been treated for. The physical and psychological toll was immense, and the impact on their families and communities was devastating. And for what? For a study that was ethically bankrupt and morally reprehensible. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study stands as a stark reminder of the importance of ethical standards in medical research and the need to protect the rights and dignity of all individuals. Today, the legacy of the Tuskegee Syphilis Study continues to influence medical ethics and research practices. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the potential for abuse when power and knowledge are wielded without compassion and respect for human life. Memorials and historical markers now stand in Tuskegee, honoring the victims and ensuring that their suffering is not forgotten. Their story is a powerful testament to the need for vigilance and accountability in the pursuit of scientific knowledge. As we move forward, let us remember the lessons of the past and strive to build a future where medical research is conducted with integrity, transparency, and a deep respect for the humanity of all participants. Only then can we truly honor the memory of those who suffered in the name of science. This one hits close to home, you guys. It makes you question your own sanity, your own ability to resist evil. In 1971, a psychologist named Philip Zimbardo wanted to study the psychological effects of power and authority. He set up a mock prison in the basement of Stanford University. He recruited a group of college students, perfectly normal guys, and randomly assigned them to be either guards or prisoners. What happened next shocked the world. The guards, given uniforms, sunglasses, and batons, quickly became abusive. They taunted the prisoners, stripped them naked, put them in solitary confinement. They dehumanized them, turning them into numbers. The prisoners, wearing smocks and chains, became passive and depressed. Some had mental breakdowns. The experiment, designed to last 2 weeks, had to be shut down after just 6 days. It showed us the terrifying power of the situation. How easily we can become monsters when given the opportunity, how quickly we conform to roles even if it means hurting others. Okay, last one, but it's a doozy. The Milgram Experiment. This one will make you question everything you thought you knew about human nature. It's a deep dive into the complexities of human behavior and the unsettling ease with which we can be led astray. In the 1960s, Stanley Milgram, a psychologist at Yale University, wanted to understand why people obey authority, even when it means harming others. His curiosity was sparked by the atrocities committed during World War II, where individuals claimed they were just following orders. He designed an experiment that was as simple as it was disturbing. The setup was deceptively straightforward, yet it revealed profound truths about human nature. Participants were told they were taking part in a study on learning and memory. They believed they were helping to improve educational techniques, a noble cause that masked the true intent of the experiment. They were instructed to deliver electric shocks to another person, a learner, every time they got an answer wrong. The shocks were to increase in intensity with each incorrect response, creating a sense of escalating tension. The shocks weren't real, of course, but the participants didn't know that. They were led to believe that their actions were causing real pain, a crucial element in understanding their reactions. They heard screams, pleas for mercy, but the experimenter urged them to continue. The authority figure's calm and insistent demeanor played a significant role in the participants' compliance. "The experiment requires that you continue," he'd say. This phrase became a chilling mantra, a reminder of the power of authoritative commands. And you know what? Most of them did. Despite their visible discomfort and the apparent distress of the learner, they continued to administer shocks. Over 65% of participants delivered the highest level of shock, a potentially lethal 450 volts. This statistic is not just a number, it represents a profound insight into human behavior. The Milgram experiment showed us the dark side of obedience. It revealed how ordinary people could be driven to commit acts they would never consider under normal circumstances. How easily we can be manipulated into doing terrible things. The experiment's implications extend far beyond the lab, touching on issues of morality, authority, and personal responsibility. It's a chilling reminder of the power of authority and the dangers of blind obedience. The Milgram experiment remains a cornerstone in the study of social psychology, a stark illustration of the potential for darkness within us all when we surrender our will to authority. These experiments, as disturbing as they are, force us to confront the dark side of human nature. They serve as a grim reminder of the potential for cruelty in the name of science, of the dangers of unchecked power, and the importance of ethical considerations in research. It's easy to dismiss these stories as anomalies, as the work of madmen. But the truth is, these events happened, and they could happen again if we're not careful. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into history. And let me know in the comments which experiment you found the most disturbing. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and stay safe.